Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, everyone, settle in, because today we're diving deep into what's happening behind the scenes with the Montreal Canadiens, a team that, after a surprising and thrilling playoff push last season, is now eyeing the next steps to truly solidify their position among the NHL's elite. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. The Canadiens are not content with just being a team that makes a splash in the playoffs. They want to stay there, compete consistently, and maybe, just maybe, make that push for the Stanley Cup in the coming seasons. So, what's the latest? Well, the buzz is all about the offseason moves, and more specifically, about how GM Kent Hughes is planning to reshape this roster to maximize its potential. Now, to understand the magnitude of what might be coming, let's look at the current state of the Canadiens. They've been on quite a journey. The rebuild, which many thought would take years, has accelerated a lot faster than expected. After years of struggles, the team finally found a rhythm, especially last season, and that unexpected playoff run showed that this core, young as it is, can stand toe-to-toe with the league's best. But in hockey, you don't rest on your laurels, especially if you're aiming for the top. You look for ways to improve, to fill those gaps that can make the difference between a first-round exit and a deep playoff run. And right now, one of the biggest issues that the Canadiens are facing is offensive depth. It's no secret that their scoring, especially from the second line, can sometimes be inconsistent. They've got young talent, guys like Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Kaiden Guhle, but to truly make a dent in the playoffs, they need more firepower, more veteran presence that can deliver when it counts. That's why the focus is on upgrading the forward group, particularly on the wings and the second-line center position. Now, rumor has it that Kent Hughes is eyeing the free agent market, and he's not just looking for a stopgap. He's after a player who can make an immediate impact. The biggest target right now, a top-six winger, preferably a consistent goal scorer who can add that scoring touch that the Canadiens have been missing. And one name that's been popping up in conversations is none other than Brock Boeser from the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, Boeser. The 28-year-old winger has been a proven goal scorer throughout his NHL career, and last season, he hit a career high with 40 goals, which is no small feat. That's the kind of player Montreal needs right now, someone who can come in and immediately boost the team's offensive capabilities. But why Boeser? Well, for starters, he's got size. Standing at 6 feet 1 inch, he can hold his own against the NHL's toughest defenders and make his presence felt in the corners and in front of the net. Plus, he's got experience, 9 seasons in the league, and he's shown he can score in bunches. Montreal's power play last season had moments of brilliance, but it also lacked consistency, especially on the second unit. Adding a player like Boeser, who's capable of scoring 20 or more goals in a season, could be the missing piece that elevates their special teams and makes opponents think twice before taking penalties. And let's not forget, Boeser is also a leader, having been with the Canucks through some tough times and still maintaining a positive production rate. His 40-goal campaign in 2024 demonstrates he's still in his prime and that he can deliver under pressure. For Montreal, bringing him aboard would mean not only upgrading their top-6 forward group, but also adding a player who can be a focal point on the second power play unit, providing that shot of offensive momentum that can sometimes be lacking. Of course, as with any big move in the NHL, there are hurdles. The first one is whether Boeser himself is interested in coming to Montreal. Being a native of Minnesota, he might be tempted to stay close to home and sign with the Wild, who have also shown interest in him. Money, of course, talks loudest in these negotiations. The Canadiens will likely have to overpay to land him, potentially offering a deal north of $7 million per year. That's a hefty investment, but in today's NHL, if you want to compete at a high level, sometimes you have to make bold moves. Now, some critics might worry that signing a player like Boeser to a big contract could disrupt the development of younger players. They might argue that giving him a significant role could take away valuable ice time from prospects like Juraj Slavkovsky or Raphael Harvey-Pinard, slowing their progress. But the counterpoint is that if Boeser performs as he has in the past, the benefits outweigh the risks. His goal-scoring ability could be exactly what the Canadiens need to push them into the upper echelon of the league. And looking ahead, the offseason is shaping up to be quite strategic for Montreal. They're not just throwing money around, they're making calculated moves. The center market, for example, is expected to be stronger next year, so Hughes can focus on strengthening the wings now and then turn his attention to the center position later. This approach could allow them to balance immediate needs with long-term planning. Now, let's talk a little about the broader picture. The Canadiens have been rebuilding smartly, and their young core has shown they can compete. Players like Suzuki, Caulfield, and Gould are already establishing themselves as key pieces. But to truly contend, they need that veteran presence, that scoring touch, that leadership that can help guide the team through the playoffs and beyond. Signing a player like Boeser could be a statement move, signaling that Montreal is serious about taking the next step. And beyond Boeser, there are other options too. The Canadiens are reportedly keeping an eye on other free agents and trade possibilities, but Boeser seems to be a prime target because of his proven production and his fit with their needs. The fact that he's coming off a 40-goal season makes him one of the most attractive options in free agency this summer. Now, imagine this scenario. Montreal adds Boeser, they bolster their offensive depth, and suddenly, their power play becomes a nightmare for opponents. Teams will have to account for Caulfield, Suzuki, and Boeser, all dangerous shooters capable of scoring at any moment. The confidence of the team could skyrocket, and that could translate into more wins, better playoff positioning, and a stronger reputation league-wide. But of course, nothing is guaranteed in hockey. The negotiations will be tough, and there are always surprises in free agency. The Canadiens will need to be aggressive but also smart, making sure they don't overextend financially or hamper the development of their younger stars. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that Hughes and his team seem prepared to navigate. One thing's for sure, Montreal fans have reason to be excited. The team is clearly aiming high, and the potential addition of a player like Boeser could be a game-changer. It's about building a roster that not only competes, but also has the depth and talent to sustain success over multiple seasons. And with the core they've already assembled, this move could very well be the catalyst that takes the Canadiens from playoff hopefuls to genuine contenders. Now, as we look ahead to the upcoming offseason, keep your eyes peeled for more news. The Canadiens are not done yet. They're exploring options, making calls, and positioning themselves to make a splash. Whether it's Boeser or another player, one thing's certain: Montreal is serious about winning, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now let's talk about what this means for the fans. The excitement around the Canadiens' roster moves is palpable. Everyone's wondering, will they land Boeser? Will they make other moves to strengthen the team even further? The offseason is always a roller coaster, but this summer feels different. It feels like Montreal is ready to take a big leap. They've shown resilience, a winning mentality, and a hunger to compete. The addition of a goal scorer like Boeser could be the piece that finally pushes them over the edge. And don't forget, the Canadiens still have their young prospects waiting in the wings. Players like Juraj Slavkovsky, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, and even some of the recent draft picks are all developing rapidly. The key is giving them the right environment, the right veterans, and the right competition to thrive. Adding a proven scorer like Boeser would not only help the team now, but also set a strong foundation for the future. It's about building a roster that balances youth and experience, speed and skill, grit and finesse. Furthermore, this move aligns with the broader strategy the Canadiens have been employing over the past couple of seasons. They're not just trying to patch holes. They're aiming for a complete, competitive team that can contend year after year. The playoffs last season proved that they're capable of more than just being a feel-good story. They're legitimate contenders if they can fine-tune their roster. The addition of a player like Boeser could be the tipping point, giving them that extra edge, that extra scoring punch that can make all the difference in tight games. Now, in terms of the fan base, there's a lot of optimism but also a realistic understanding of the challenges ahead. This isn't about making a big splash just for the sake of it. It's about strategic moves, smart investments, and building a team that can sustain success. The Canadiens' management understands this. They've been meticulous in their approach, and this summer, they're expected to be even more aggressive. They know that the window to capitalize on this talented core won't stay open forever, and every move counts. And for all of you watching, I want to emphasize how important it is to stay engaged, stay informed, and keep the passion alive. The Canadiens are a team with a rich history, passionate fans, and a bright future if they play their cards right. The potential signing of Boeser is just one piece of a larger puzzle, but it could be the piece that makes all the difference. So, whether you're a diehard supporter or a new fan just discovering the team, this offseason promises excitement and plenty of storylines to follow. Looking ahead, we'll be sure to bring you all the latest updates, rumors, and analysis. The offseason is where dreams are made and broken, but for Montreal fans, it's also where hope blossoms anew. The team's recent performances have shown that they're not just here to participate, they want to win. And with the right moves like possibly bringing in Boeser, they might just have what it takes to challenge the best of the best in the league. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Boeser is the right fit? Are there other players you'd like to see wearing the iconic Canadiens jersey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team itself. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to cover it all with you. So keep that passion alive, keep supporting your Canadiens, and let's see what this summer brings. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs.